How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade, which means that each individual state has the right to regulate abortion as they see fit. It does not ban abortion like some will have you believe. Like if you turn on the mainstream media, if you turn on television, they'll tell you that, oh, abortion has been banned. There's no more constitutional right to abortion, all this, that, and the third. That's not what's going on. And you'll see some protests as a result of this particular decision. And they'll be largely in states where abortion will not change at all. If anything, they'll probably further liberalize abortion. I was hearing arguments in certain states, it might have been in Northern Virginia, where they're talking about having post-birth abortion. You understand? So those particular states are not going to come anywhere close to trying to ban it, but some states will ban it. Now, let's start a little bit from the beginning so you get the full context of why does this happen, what's going on, and what it's going to mean in the future. Now, back in 1973, the right to ban abortion or legalize abortion was a purely states' rights issue. It was all up to the states. But then, during civil rights, all that kind of stuff in the 60s and 70s, there was a fight to have abortion be legalized nationwide. So Roe v. Wade came into existence. I'm not going to get into the whole court case. That's a whole video in itself. But ultimately, in 1973, the Supreme Court ruled that abortion is constitutionally protected up to the point of viability. And I'm not really sure what that means, quote unquote, viability. They say that a baby can be born at 24 weeks and survive, but it can't survive on its own because if a baby is born, even at full term, 9 months, you can't just leave a baby on the ground and have the baby survive. You still got to have the care from the mother, the father. Somebody's got to be there to care for the baby when it's an infant, even if the baby's at full term when it's born, right? But they said viability is 24 weeks. So if a state passed a law that would ban abortion before 24 weeks, that'd be a court case. And often Roe v. Wade would come in and squash that particular law or bill or whatever you want to call it. Probably a bill because it probably wouldn't get into law. Or if it was a law, it might be struck down. And I think there have been two significant times where Roe v. Wade has been challenged. There's been other times, of course, throughout the past 40 or 50 years. But I think there's two major ones. In 1992, 1993, there was a Planned Parenthood situation, and that didn't go anywhere. I think it was not ruled for or against Roe v. Wade. And if I'm wrong about that, y'all please let me know in the comments. But that was one particular case. And the most recent case where this Roe v. Wade decision has come from that we are seeing in the news right now today happened in 2018 in Mississippi. They passed a law that banned abortion past 15 weeks. So obviously, point of viability, Roe v. Wade says 24 weeks. They're saying 15 weeks. Now we have a conflict, and it went through the courts, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court, and it took years, obviously, because, again, that was in 2018. Now we're at 2022. So what's going on, right? It went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled in a 6-3 decision, and shout out to President Donald Trump for installing not one, not two, but 3 Supreme Court justices, because if it was Hillary Clinton in there, you would have had 3 liberal Supreme Court justices, and this wouldn't have happened. It would not have happened. You're not going to have a court that's 6-3 liberal conservative and have them overturn Roe v. Wade. It wouldn't have gone down, but I digress. So in the 6-3 decision, they ruled to strike down Roe v. Wade because it's not constitutional. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say anything about abortion. There's no guarantee for abortion. I think Brett Kavanaugh said the Constitution is neutral on abortion because there's nothing in there that permits it or does not permit it exclusively as far as abortion. Okay, that's just what that is. Now, some are going to try to say, well, hey, what about murder? Isn't that illegal? Of course. But there's arguments on whether an abortion is murder or not. If you ask me, I say, yes, it is. But there's different opinions on that because they're talking about viability and what is a fetus and what is a human, all kind of ridiculous stuff. But at the end of the day, abortion is no longer just a right you can have. Okay, it was never in the Constitution. It was only a Supreme Court decision or opinion that said that it was. And as far as I know, you cannot legislate from the bench. Okay, you have separation of power in government for a reason. You have the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. Okay, the judicial branch is not the same thing as the legislative. So you must separate those powers. If you want to create a law about abortion and go about it that way, then that's one thing. I think the Senate tried to do that, but that got struck down. That didn't work at all. Okay, that wasn't going to happen. Or as far as the federal level. But if you want to create laws about abortion, create laws. Don't try to rely on the Supreme Court. And they've been relied on far too long as far as this whole Roe v. Wade decision. This should never have happened. The whole Roe v. Wade case was a fraud to begin with. And like I said, I won't get into that particular case, so I digress. The whole point is that it should have never been on the books to begin with. It should have never been a thing that we look at as some kind of de facto law, because again, you cannot legislate, meaning create laws from the bench. But like I said, people are really upset, and the people that are the most upset live in states where you're going to have abortion be legal, like completely legal, where you could just do whatever you want. You can have a baby that's 8 months gestation, could be born and be viable, be clear, because again, the whole thing about Roe v. Wade is viability, right? 24 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. But they're talking about having abortions up until the point of birth. You could have a woman dilated, like in labor, and at that point, they say the baby could still be aborted. And post-birth, they're talking about, oh, what are we going to do with the baby, all this, that, and the third. So those states have no issue. But if you live in a more conservative state, yeah, you're going to have the issue. I think Missouri has the first state to ban abortion. Like right now, as I'm talking, I was watching Twitter, of course, as I always do. And I saw my main man, Benny Johnson, shout out to him. He was talking about how Missouri has outright banned abortion. And you're going to see that in certain states. Now, if you must kill your baby, have an abortion, you can go to a different state. Like, let's say you live in Missouri, right? And you must have an abortion. Go to Illinois if you really want to do it. Okay. Now, I think... Now, some are going to say, here's another thing. Some are going to say, what's the point in banning abortion in one state? They can go somewhere else and get it there. Well, a lot of times abortions are kind of a snap decision, kind of a spontaneous decision, or you get pressured into it. You understand? Like, you don't know what to do. You're kind of scared. A lot of these girls, they kind of scared, or people that just don't really care. I think I got to correct myself. Sometimes you have girls that are just scared, don't know what to do, et cetera, et cetera. But a lot of times, I say the overwhelming majority of the time, this is used as form of birth control. I've heard, like literally when I was younger, I've heard girls brag about having multiple abortions. They just don't like using condoms. They don't care about safe sex or nothing like that. They just go out there raw and they get pregnant and then have an abortion as a form of birth control. They don't care what it's going to do to their body in the future. They don't care. When they get to be 35 years old, it's going to be some serious issues. They don't care about that. All they care about is they see it as birth control, although it's not. I mean, you get different forms of birth control aside from just having an abortion. When you get pregnant, how about using a condom? How about not having sex? How about even the Plan B pill is good because it's not abortifacient, meaning it does not induce an abortion. You understand? All it does is prevent conception. So, for example, if somebody's assaulted, and that's one thing people talk about, they say, oh, what about rape and incest? That's not necessarily even in the factor. You're talking about less than 1% of all cases. Less than 1% of all abortion cases involve some kind of sexual assault. Okay, less than 1%. And for those cases, I would say go to the hospital immediately. Like you got shot or you got into a car accident. Go to the hospital, get yourself treated, Plan B pill, it prevents conception. That should be how it is, right? Rather than you're 4 months pregnant and you're like, oops, nope, I don't want it. That shouldn't be how that goes at all, okay? If you're 4 months pregnant, I mean, just have the baby. And you punish, if there's any kind of assault that goes on, you punish the person that assaulted the woman rather than punishing the baby for something they didn't do. You're talking about an innocent life in the womb. They did not commit the assault. They did not do that thing. you punish the person that did it rather than the baby. That should be how it goes, in my humble opinion. But again, those cases are less than 1% of all abortion. The overwhelming majority, 99.9 really, are elective. It's convenient. I got a career. I don't want a baby. I don't want to mess my body up. I'm still young. I want to party. That's really what it is. And as I close, I want to say this. Some may say, hey, ABL, you shut up. You're a man. You should have no say in this. I thought that men could also have babies. I thought that, men could also menstruate. I thought that gender didn't even really matter. And how are you going to assume my gender? I may identify as a camera cap. I may identify as a box of Wheaties before Bruce became Kate. I may identify as invisible. You can't even see me right now. So how dare you even address this invisible man right here? We can't have all this woke, ridiculous nonsense that we adhere to sometimes, but then when you have a situation like this, where there's something really serious going on, all of a sudden, oh, nah, you're a man. No. I thought that it didn't matter. If you're going to say something like that, then let's say it all the time, not just some of the time. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what said you? How do you feel about the Supreme Court's decision? Was it the right move, wrong move? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This is the right move. And I know we're going to see a bunch of riots and violence and whatnot from the left. And it will be ignored by mainstream media, of course, as always, as it was during the 2016 election. Well, it wasn't ignored, but it was excused away. The whole fiery but peaceful. They're going to ignore it. They're going to excuse it away. And they'll still talk about January 6th and things of that nature. It don't even matter. That don't even matter. January 6th is totally irrelevant, especially when we're talking about a landmark decision like repealing Roe v. Wade. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.